Manipulators don't fear strength. They fear something far more dangerous. They fear people they cannot control. Manipulators survive on one thing: your emotions, your reactions, your need to respond. Anger feeds them. Fear empowers them. Explaining yourself gives them leverage. But what happens when someone gives them nothing, no reaction, no defense, no emotional entry point? In ancient Rome, a world of betrayal, politics, and psychological warfare, one man ruled the most powerful empire on earth without shouting, threatening, or manipulating. His name was Marcus Aurelius. Surrounded by enemies, traitors, and power-hungry men, he didn't try to dominate them. He became untouchable. And unknowingly, Marcus mastered the one mindset that makes manipulators lose control, panic, and eventually destroy themselves. Because when manipulation meets a Stoic mind, power silently changes hands. Part 1. The manipulator's weakness. Manipulators believe they control others, but that belief is an illusion. And like all illusions, it collapses the moment you see how it works. Here's the truth: most people never realize manipulators don't control you. They control your reactions. Take a breath with me for a second. Say it with me. Reaction is power. Every manipulator stands on three fragile pillars. The first is your emotional reactions: anger, fear, guilt, excitement. These are not weaknesses by themselves. They only become weaknesses when someone else learns how to pull them on command. Studies in behavioral psychology show that emotional arousal reduces rational decision-making by up to 40%. That's not opinion. That's data. Manipulators know this intuitively, even if they don't know the science. The second pillar is your need for approval. When you need validation, you become predictable. And predictability is oxygen for manipulation. The third pillar is your fear of loss. Fear of losing love, fear of losing status, fear of being misunderstood. Manipulators don't create these fears. They simply activate them. Remove even one of these pillars, just one, and their power collapses. This is where Marcus Aurelius enters the story. In his private journal, written not for the world but for himself, he reminded his own mind, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Pause for a moment. Let that land. If your power lives inside your mind, then manipulation, which operates externally, has no home to live in. Here's a simple real-world example. A manipulative colleague provokes you publicly. They expect anger or defense. Instead, you respond calmly, briefly, without explanation. The room feels different. They feel exposed. Why? Because manipulation fails in silence. Reset moment. Breathe in, breathe out. Say it quietly: "If I don't react, I remain free." Tonight, write down one emotion people often trigger in you. One situation where you usually over-explain your only task. Tomorrow, pause for 3 seconds before responding. That pause is the crack where manipulation dies. And in the next part, you'll discover why this calm, controlled presence doesn't just resist manipulators, it terrifies them. Part 2. Why Stoic people terrify manipulators. Stoic people don't argue. They don't explain themselves. They don't rush to defend their ego. And to a manipulator, this is psychological chaos, because manipulators don't win through strength. They win through engagement. They need your attention. They need your emotions. They need your participation. Take a breath with me for a moment. Say it slowly. No engagement, no control. This is the core reason Stoic people terrify manipulators. A manipulator enters every interaction with an invisible script. They provoke you, react. They confuse you, explain. They pressure you, rush. But the Stoic does something unexpected. Nothing. No emotional spike. No defensive speech. No urgency. And when the script breaks, the manipulator panics. Psychologists call this expectation violation, when the brain predicts a response and doesn't receive it. Research shows that when expected emotional feedback is removed, stress hormones like cortisol spike sharply in the aggressor. In simple terms, silence hurts manipulators more than resistance. Relax your jaw. Drop your shoulders. Say it with me. Calm is not weakness. Manipulators rely on chaos. Stoics create stillness, and stillness exposes intent. Here's a real-world example. A manipulative partner accuses you unfairly. They expect denial, guilt, or emotional pleading. Instead, you respond calmly, "I don't agree. I'll think about this." Nothing more. That moment feels unbearable to them. Why? Because they no longer control the emotional temperature of the room. This is exactly what Marcus Aurelius trained himself to do. Surrounded by political enemies, false allies, and power-hungry generals, Marcus learned that reacting emotionally was a liability. In meditations, he reminds himself, choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. This wasn't philosophy for comfort, it was survival psychology. Marcus understood something crucial. Manipulation cannot survive where ego does not demand defense. Stoic people don't need to prove they're right. They don't need to be understood. They don't need to win every interaction. That absence is terrifying because manipulators weaponize your need to be seen. Your fear of being misunderstood, your urge to correct the narrative, remove those and the weapon jams. Breathe in slowly, breathe out longer. Repeat, I don't owe emotional access. Another reason Stoics terrify manipulators is predictability loss. Manipulators study patterns. They learn which buttons work. Stoic behavior removes patterns. Calm today, calm tomorrow. Calm under pressure, no emotional reward system. Studies on coercive control show that unpredictability without emotional reinforcement causes manipulators to disengage or escalate, and escalation exposes them. That's why Stoic calm often triggers sudden anger, passive aggression, guilt-tripping, victim playing. These are last resort tactics. Marcus warned himself of this exact moment. When someone is offended by your behavior, turn to yourself and ask, which of their values am I truly violating? Often the answer is simple. You violated their expectation of control. Stoic people don't fight manipulators. They let manipulators reveal themselves. And this leads to the most important insight of all. Silence is not absence. Silence is pressure. Silence forces manipulators to face themselves. Say it with me calmly. If I remain steady, manipulation collapses. In the next part, we step fully into the lion's den. You'll see how Marcus Aurelius applied this mindset while ruling an empire under constant betrayal, and how responding instead of reacting saved his power, his clarity, and his sanity. Part 3. Marcus Aurelius. In the lion's den. Marcus Aurelius did not learn Stoicism in peace. He learned it in the lion's den. Rome was not a calm place. It was a world of betrayal disguised as loyalty, smiles that hid ambition, allies who waited for weakness. And Marcus knew something most rulers never accept. Power attracts manipulators. Generals tested him. Politicians whispered lies. Friends betrayed him quietly. Yet Marcus did not react the way manipulators expected. He did not rage. He did not threaten. He did not expose his emotions. Instead, he practiced something radical for a man with absolute power. Restraint. Reset moment. Take a breath. Say it with me. True power is self-control. Marcus wrote his thoughts late at night alone, never meant for public eyes. Those writings became meditations, and inside them we see a man training his mind like a weapon, not to dominate others, but to dominate himself. He reminded himself, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Think about that. Manipulators want you to mirror them. They provoke anger so you become aggressive. They use guilt so you become defensive. They create chaos so you lose clarity. Marcus refused. And that refusal was devastating to manipulators, because manipulators expect only two outcomes: resistance, submission. But Marcus offered neither. That creates psychological confusion. When there is no emotional feedback, no escalation, no collapse, the manipulator loses orientation. Modern psychology confirms this. Studies on power dynamics show that individuals who do not emotionally respond to provocation are perceived as higher status and less controllable. In simple terms, calm equals authority. Marcus understood this centuries before neuroscience. He wrote, "Be like the cliff against which the waves continually break. It stands firm, and the fury of the water falls around it." That image is not poetic decoration, it is strategy. Reset moment, relax your face. Drop the tension in your body. Repeat, I don't have to react to remain powerful. Imagine this scenario. A powerful senator tries to undermine Marcus publicly. The court waits for outrage. Instead, Marcus listens, responds briefly, changes nothing in his tone. The attack fails. Why? Because manipulators need emotional chaos to shift power. Stoic calm freezes power in place. Marcus also understood something uncomfortable. You don't defeat manipulators by exposing them immediately. You defeat them by outlasting them. Time reveals intent. Manipulators rush outcomes. Stoics extend time. That's why Marcus constantly reminded himself, never let the future disturb you. You will meet it with the same weapons of reason. This mindset denied manipulators their favorite tool, urgency. No urgency, no leverage. Reset moment, slow inhale, long exhale. Say it. Time is on my side. Marcus Aurelius ruled for nearly 19 years during wars, famine, and the Antonine Plague that killed millions. Yet he remained composed. Why does this matter to you? Because manipulation today works the same way it did in ancient Rome. Different costumes, same psychology. If Marcus had reacted emotionally, Rome would have fractured. If you react emotionally, your peace fractures. Stoicism is not emotional suppression, it is emotional mastery. And Marcus proved that the calmest person in the room eventually controls the room without trying. In the next part, we will break this down clearly. You'll learn the 5 Stoic traits that make manipulators lose control, completely traits you can practice starting today. Part 4. 5 Stoic traits that make manipulators lose control. By now you understand something crucial. Manipulators don't lose control because you fight them. They lose control because they can't move you. Stoicism is not theory. It is a set of traits, trainable behaviors that quietly dismantle manipulation. And Marcus Aurelius lived these traits daily. Let's break them down. Trait 1. Emotional neutrality. When provoked, the Stoic stays calm. No anger, no excitement, no visible reaction. This is devastating. Why? Because manipulation relies on emotional contrast. If the manipulator is intense, they expect intensity back. If they accuse, they expect defense. Instead, they meet neutrality. Neuroscience shows that when emotional feedback is absent, the brain struggles to maintain dominance patterns. The manipulator feels invisible. And invisible people panic. Reset moment, breathe in through your nose. Slow breath out. Say it with me. Calm denies control, Marcus reminded himself. Keep yourself simple, good pure, serious free from affectation. Trait 2. Internal validation. Stoics do not outsource their self-worth. They don't need approval to feel stable. They don't need agreement to feel right. This removes one of the strongest levers manipulators use, because when you need validation, you can be steered. Marketing studies show that people who rely on external approval are over 60% more likely to comply under social pressure. Stoics opt out. Marcus wrote, "I do my duty. Other things trouble me not." That sentence alone shuts down manipulation. Reset moment. Place your hand on your chest. Say quietly, "I approve of myself." Trait 3. Clear boundaries. Stoics don't over-explain. They don't justify endlessly. They don't debate their boundaries. They state, then they act consistently. Manipulators hate this because explanations create openings. Boundaries close doors. Example, "I'm not available for that." No apology, no story, just clarity. Marcus warned himself, if anyone can refute me, show me I'm wrong, I'll gladly change. Notice the difference. Open to truth, closed to manipulation. Reset moment, relax your jaw, repeat few words, firm actions. Trait 4. Detachment from outcome. This is where manipulators truly lose power. They threaten loss, withdrawal, rejection. Stoics accept loss, not emotionally, rationally. Psychological studies on negotiation show that the party least afraid to walk away holds the most power. Marcus trained this daily. Loss is nothing else but change. If you can accept change, you cannot be threatened. Reset moment. Long exhale. Say it slowly, "I can survive without this." Trait 5. Time as a weapon. Manipulators rush you. Decide now. Answer immediately. This is your last chance. Stoics slow everything down. Delay removes urgency. Urgency removes reason. Marcus wrote, "Never let the future disturb you. When you don't rush, manipulation starves." Final reset, count slowly to 3. Say it with me. Time works for me. Practical Stoic drill. Daily the 2 minutes, one situation where you usually react emotionally. One boundary you over-explain. One decision, you rush your task. Pause, neutral tone. Fewer words, that's it. Stoicism is not loud, it is consistent, and manipulators cannot control what does not move. In the final part, we bring everything together. You'll learn exactly how to apply this today in real conversations, real relationships, and real power dynamics without confrontation, without drama, and without guilt. Part 5, Practical Lesson. How to apply this today. Everything you've learned so far leads to this moment. Stoicism only matters if it shows up in real conversations, real pressure, and real manipulation. So let's make this practical. The next time someone tries to manipulate you, your goal is not to win the argument. Your goal is to remain sovereign. Reset moment. Take a slow breath. Say it with me. I choose control over reaction. Step 1. Slow the interaction. Manipulators move fast. They pressure you to respond immediately because speed bypasses reason. Your first Stoic move is simple: slow down. Say, I need time to think about this, or I'll get back to you. Nothing more. This single pause reduces emotional influence dramatically. Studies in decision-making show that delaying responses by even 10 seconds increases rational accuracy significantly. You're not avoiding, you're reclaiming time. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, never let the future disturb you. Reset, relax your shoulders. Repeat, I am not rushed. Step 2, reduce emotional expression. Manipulation feeds on emotional data. The less you show, the less they can use. This does not mean being cold or rude. It means being measured. Lower your tone, shorten your sentences, remove emotional adjectives. Instead of, you're making me uncomfortable and this feels unfair, say I don't agree. That's it. Silence does the rest. Marcus trained this discipline constantly. Keep your speech brief and to the point. Reset, exhale slowly. Say it, less emotion, more power. Step 3, say less, not more. Over-explaining is an invitation. Manipulators don't hear explanations, they look for openings. Stoics close openings by speaking minimally. A boundary does not require justification. I'm not available for that. I won't be doing this. No story, no apology. Consistency creates credibility. Reset, drop your jaw tension. Repeat, few words are enough. Step 4, focus only on what you control. This is the heart of Stoicism. You cannot control their reactions, their approval, their interpretation. You can control your tone, your timing, your response. Marcus wrote, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. That rule simplifies everything. Reset, place your attention inward. Say, my mind is my domain. Step 5, accept loss and watch power shift. Manipulators threaten loss because it works, until it doesn't. The moment you accept that you may lose approval, comfort, connection, their leverage disappears. This doesn't make you reckless. It makes you free. Marcus reminded himself, loss is nothing else but change, and change is survivable. Final reset. Deep inhale, slow exhale. Say it calmly. I will be fine. Manipulators lose control around Stoic people because Stoic people cannot be shaken. No drama, no reaction, no urgency, just clarity. If this mindset helped you, like this video to reinforce calm over chaos. Subscribe to the channel Making Life Better for ancient wisdom applied to modern life. Share this with someone who needs quiet strength. And now comment one word below to lock this mindset in comment. This word, calm. Because in a noisy world, the calm mind always wins.